Welcome back to the International 4 European Qualifiers presented by Monster. My name is Sunsfan, joined by Sinner. This is the grand finals, of course, Game 4 between Mouz Sports and Virtus Pro. And it's the pick ban. Let's go. Let's just go.
Yep.
Pick ban.
We're ready.
Let's do it.
We're actually kind of far into the pick ban.
Let's do it, Brian. Come on, Brian. We can do it. We can do it, Brian. Good Lord. Brian. Good God, Brian. Hit the button. Hit the button, Brian.
If you stop
For God's sake,
if you stop talking, he's going to turn off the camera. Okay.
Anyway, we got the first bans and picks coming out, which I'll go over real quick. EO, Marana, Batrider, Lycan, followed by IO. I just say Wisp, whatever. Ancient Apparition and Slark from Mouz Sports, and Virtus Pro is going to pick up Treant and Nature's Prophet.
Oh, this is a really early pickup on the Slark. They're so confident after the last game that that is going to be a great pick here. And the reason this is good so far is that Virtus Pro went for the Treant Prophet opener, where Living Armor just gets removed by Dark Pact. It does so many instances of damage over so little time that you can't really save anyone with this against the Dark Pact. You have to wait until Dark Pact is over, and then you can Living Armor, else it's just going to get removed. And they get their ever-faithful AA. I would call it failful. And it hasn't really been failful.
What do you feel about Treant
so
as a first pick these days? Well, firstly, before you start into it, Mouz Sports needs to get Rubik.
They could. It's decent.
I mean, if you go into the, so Treant is used mostly for early game with the Leech Seed and Living Armor and whatnot. Obviously, he's good throughout the game for healing towers over time, but it's quite slow, pushing or anti-push mechanics and whatnot. But as far as late game, it's just his ult goes through BKB. That's pretty much the use, and Rubik counters that. He just steals it every single time.
It's very easy to steal because it has such a distinct animation. The animation is very clear. The sound is very clear too. So it's
plus the cast animation on Leech Seed and Nature's Guys. You're not going to use Nature's Guys in a fight in all likelihood.
No.
And Leech Seed sometimes hard to find a target.
You have good time to steal it as well. That's a good point too. So yes, it is a possible pickup for Mouz Sports. I'm not sure they want it though, because there are other heroes for Misery as well. Maybe they get their Enigma this time around if they feel like Virtus Pro won't go for an aggressive trial lane.
It's not banned for the first time in the. Actually, they still have one ban left.
Yeah,
we'll see.
They banned the Troll though, so really interesting to see Virtus Pro take that route. They thought Troll was a big problem in the last game. I don't know if he really was, more than just the Slark getting out of control and then Troll helping him out a bit. But
yeah, I think so.
Maybe it's a decent idea here to get rid of the Troll. And Virtus Pro, we'll see what they choose to go with against the Slark here. There are a couple of choices that could be nice. Of course, a good way of dealing with Slark is getting a really fast stun or silence that he can't react to with the Dark Pact, so you get an opening with that. Orchid carriers like Queen of Pain in the last game, but she was kind of underwhelming all in all.
Well, she's kind of an underwhelming hero.
But it wasn't really God's performance. I think he played okay.
No.
But they just got behind, and Queen of Pain is a hero that plays from ahead. That's what it does. And he did not really win his lane that significantly.
I feel like Storm would have been, if they're going to pick Quab, why not just pick Storm?
That's a pretty good point. And if he wouldn't have gone for the Courier, maybe he would have won his lane.
That was pretty, yeah.
That was a really big deal. He died, AA got experience, and Troll got back in the lane. He was actually winning the lane.
Virtus Pro's going all green.
Yep.
All green. Invoker.
Which is a really interesting thing to talk about because of recent discussions. They're going all green.
What?
Colorblind mode, you know.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about colorblind mode very shortly, friends. Don't worry. And OD, that's kind of green. That's like teal or turquoise. It's greenish. We'll go with it. So still on point. So that's going to be OD mid versus Invoker. You really like that matchup in particular.
It's a matchup where Invoker can do fairly well if he goes Exhort. He doesn't stand a chance if he goes Quaswax. You just get completely removed from the lane. But if you go Exhort and you get off to a decent start, you don't have to win. Just get up a couple of levels in Exhort so you start getting significant Forge Spirit.
I feel like Quas Exhort, you have to go because Slark's going to, in all likelihood, get that blink again, and the Pounce sets up the Sunstrike pretty easily. So
but then again, Wex is really damn good against Wraith King. It's also great against Treant, who has not the biggest mana pool in the world, but Overgrowth is pretty costly, and so is Leech Seed.
Just get level 25 and you can have all of it.
That's true. Maybe just use cheats and win the game. It's a pretty good idea. But
get a Midas level 1. Do it.
I think maybe Mouz Sports thinks outside the box here and put Invoker safe lane. It is a possibility for them. Of course, since they are on the Dire, their aggressive trial is going to be weaker than it would be on the Radiant. And Virtus Pro realized that maybe Mouz will actually be going for that. So they're going to ban the Enchantress. That could put a lot of pressure on them early on and maybe threaten their OD in the mid lane. OD is a lane dominator. It needs to win the lane. What counters a lane dominator? Enchantress just sending in creeps and forcing you out, right? So nice decision here from Virtus Pro. Mouz Sports with an well-rounded mid-game lineup without too much superior late game, whereas Virtus Pro's late game is really scary. Prophet OD with Wraith King Aura. It's really devastating.
Yeah. But green. Green Cinderin.
It's true.
Who else is green? I need to know. They banned Enchantress. kind of green. I don't know. This is an obsession of mine for whatever reason. But Nyx Assassin's going to be in the off lane, so that's, I think, the most important lane for Mouse Sports as far as... Well, Invokers should be fine. Like, you might get beat by OD, but if you don't die, it's not that big of a deal, I guess, if that makes sense. Slark, Ancient Apparition top lane with either another support or a jungler to follow. They should be fine in that lane against the Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet might be okay in himself as well, because you can't pounce if you got a bunch of tree ants there. So it's something to keep in mind. And a drow.
You can pounce.
It
only hits heroes.
Oh, that's right. No, you're right.
Yeah, it only hits heroes.
So that's going to be a very early blink dagger for him.
The point that you could bring up is that neither Slark nor AA have a stun, unless if the cold feet is timed perfectly before he starts TPing.
I don't think cold feet's even important. Chilling touch is what you get.
And there's the Enigma. Expected, so.
Drow range. There's a little bit of green. She has a medallion or something, necklace.
This was a hero we were considering Virtus Pro picking up in the last game, I think. We were bringing up that Drow would be good against the Bat Rider and other things in that game, that it could have worked. They're going to go for it this time around. And the reasoning for Virtus Pro here, I think, is that there's a couple of reasons why this could actually be really good. First of all, they have 3 ranged heroes that can benefit from the aura. Nature's Prophet and OD are great with plus damage. OD is going to be even stronger in the mid lane now because of this bonus. It is currently 5 damage extra. Not to be underestimated, it's actually kind of important, and especially for the offlane Prophet. As for the lanes, Mouz have no aggressive tri-lane potential. They cannot put a strong aggressive tri-lane, I think, unless if they want to solo the Enigma in the top lane. So Drow is going to get free farm, and this hero with free farm is insane. If both Drow and OD get good farm, their mid game is going to be...
Do you go Ultra Greed with her,
phenomenal.
like a Blink Dagger, Mask of Madness? Just positioning is really the key for
Ultra Envy?
Yes, Ultra Envy, pretty much. Let's go over the lineups. Actually, let's talk about the colorblind mode, which we've taken off for this game because we want to wait for like a bigger discussion, I guess, to see what's the benefits and pros. But the problem, I guess, with some people was that the blue kind of melds with the mana, which I could see the shades of blue probably aren't different enough overall. So for now, we're just going to take it off, and we'll revisit this.
So if nothing else, what was really interesting about that is the discussion that was started. And of course, if this starts becoming something more and more prevalent, then it's probably something that Valve can work on, making the colorblind mode better for non-colorblind people, because of course it shouldn't be so that helping the colorblind players makes it a worse experience for everyone else.
Red versus blue?
So
except there's no red.
I think it's been healthy just to bring up the discussion, and for now we're just going to have it back to normal. But I can see both sides of the argument.
Well,
right?
I'm sure there's a middle ground that we can.
Yeah, exactly. That's the goal. The goal is for the colorblind mode to be so good that non-colorblind people will actually enjoy it as well. So we'll see if we can get to that point.
But let's go over the lineups.
It's going to be Valve that has to do it. Okay.
Yes, Valve, always you, man. Always you. Virtus Pro, JOTM, otherwise known as Jotum, otherwise known as Treant every single game, or pretty much every game. NS is going to be playing the Wraith King as the 4 position. Illidan on his 1 Drow Ranger. Mid lane, we're going to be having OD played by God, and last but not least, Nature's Prophet, as usual. Arsart, his favorite hero, apparently. Remember back in the day for Na'Vi, he used to play AA every single game. Now it's Nature's Prophet, so
yep,
he's upgraded himself.
For Mouse Sports, we've got Slark, played by Pycat. He did okay in last game, so he can try again. Pass will be playing as Ancient Apparition, so not to be confused with the other AA in the game.
Always confusing.
Misery will be playing as Enigma. Fata will be playing on the Invoker in the mid lane, which is indeed going to be Exhort. And finally, in the bottom lane, it's going to be MSS on Nyx Assassin on Dire offlane, which is really hard for Nyx. He has nothing to change the creep equilibrium with.
I'm actually
Treant
surprised
can force him out alone.
I'm surprised he has half a level so far. I'm surprised he has any experience.
I think he got that out of the initial block or something like that, which favored him a little bit. But now, if Illidan can manage to hold the lane, Nyx is not getting experience again in this lane. And that's a really big problem that Nyx will have in the Dire offlane in comparison to Arsart in the top lane, who's already level 2, starting to bully away Pass here and starting to steal perhaps some of the farm here from the Ursa camp. And he can do this knowing that there's no second support here. Enigma has to farm. But he does not, he actually doesn't have a ward seeing Enigma's rotation, so perhaps there will be an opportunity pretty early on for Misery to set up a first blood on Arsart.
When do you think Drow comes online? I know Fogged is a big proponent of Drow Ranger. At what point do you start taking part in fights? Because it's not a hero you want to farm the rest of the game for, right? At least that's not how it's being played lately. The ult helps out the team quite a bit. As long as your positioning is good, I guess. That's the main thing. That's why I bring up the Blink Dagger. It's kind of greedy, but it makes a hell of a lot of sense in a lot of cases.
I think in many... Yeah,
oh, boy. Arsart. Oh, the Malefice. Sunstrike. Everything used. Mouse Sports gets first blood. Ah.
He died all right.
And that's the Radiant offlane. So
bottom lane MSS.
Oh, and now we have the Dire offlane, NS, faking the Wraithfire Blast, and they're just going to push.
Yeah, they have a lot of pushing power here, of course, with the Treant and with the Drow aura for herself and the Prophet. They should be doing some pretty good damage. Treant, not the worst of tower pushes either. He hits really hard. Sure, his attack point isn't that good, but he's still pretty decent overall. And I don't know if Mouz has any response to this so far. There's no TP on the Ancient... Oh, there is a TP on the Ancient Apparition, but none on Enigma. So this is a very nice classic play as well. Arsart with the Treant pulling away the creep wave. This tower is gone. So good start for Virtus.pro in that regard. They did give up first blood, and Enigma was not pushing top at the same time, so there was no tower trade, and Illidan is getting the first tower blood
He's going
here
for
as
fast
well.
Yasha.
He is getting really, really
I think he's
farmed
going
early
for
on.
fast Yasha. Probably would pick up boots here, but
And
actually
mid lane,
gets dreads.
God is crushing Fata. And what I was saying about
Wow.
this lane was
Yeah.
Exort Invoker needs to have a good start. If he does not get off to a good early game, he will be trailing a lot against God here. And God has been making work in this mid lane.
Good God, he's been good.
18-11, haha, versus 6-1 on Fata.
I feel like Astral Imprisonment against any intelligence hero is just too hard to win your lane. Which is why I'm expecting a gank to come here very shortly.
And I'm not sure I agree with the Forge Spirit, with him getting 2 points in Quas instead of 2 in Exort, because the Forge Spirit, sure, it lasts a little bit longer, but the 9 lower damage, I think, plays a really big role in this lane, but still, overall, maybe you want more duration, because now he doesn't even have mana to cast it
Look how
anymore,
much
so...
damage he has.
Yeah, there's no way he can.
No mana pool, no damage. That kind of sucks for an Invoker, but...
It's actually really hard. I think, yeah, maybe overall Quas Forge Spirit is actually better, since it has to last long, because he can't cast them all the time. He's out of mana. So looking really, really good so far in this early game for Virtus.pro. They gave up first blood, but they're winning 2 lanes. They got a tower.
But Misery is still getting experience in the jungle, so nothing to forget about here.
Experience factor 2K.
Actually, MSS gets an Invis
In the
rune.
favor
This
of-
might be some
of
free
Mouz.
experience for him, but he's going to transition towards mid, so looking for a gank on the OD as we talked about. And I think that's Enigma actually wrapping around as well.
This is a nice 3-point gank.
They
for,
saw him
Mouz.
pick up that Invis, I think. Maybe not.
Oh,
Here we
God.
go. Impale's going to hit. Cold Snap to follow. He gets something delivered to him, but it's not going to save him. Cold Snap is
He's
there.
not microing the courier!
Okay, so they're going for the courier. They're going to get the kill, so
well, at least he's
at least he
alive.
lives. I guess that's a good try. I don't know what to call that. Misery gets an Astral Imprisonment, so he won't have any mana here.
The
but
courier is a bigger kill than God, though.
oh, boy. But it was delivered, of course. Arsart trying to get out of
He's gonna
dodge
get
by Cat. Not enough damage at this stage of the game. Well, at least it wasn't like a bottle on the courier like we've seen in the past. As you can see, nothing was on the courier. That production value, that poor... I wish we could see the courier dead, though. Like
Was it a regular...
if it's dead and
Are
standing...
they
I
using
don't
the
know.
regular donkey?
Okay, so apparently they're
Oh,
going
yeah,
to be
they're
adding
using,
the models
they're
in the
using
future.
the Flying Stompy, actually.
Of course, people in Dota TV won't know what the hell we're talking about, but it's all good. Astral Imprisonment. NS is coming in for the Rayfire Blast. Of course, they have a Leech Seed as well. Fata, you're in a lot of trouble, good sir. Has no mana to do anything. Easy kill going away to Virtus.pro, so it's tied up at one apiece. Unless you want to call the courier a kill, then it's 2-1 Mouse.
I will call that a kill.
Okay.
It's actually still... I still think it's a bigger deal than killing God, although Fata would have got some good experience, but the global gold for Mouz is going to be really important. Since Fata was losing already, the other lanes need to get the job done, and... I don't know if he should have gone for the Midas here on Invoker. Sure, it's good to have a comeback Midas, but it's going to come so late.
They're going to go for him again, wrapping around behind the Tier 1 Fata.
Oh boy, that's
Fire
bad.
Blast, Leech Seed.
That's
God.
real bad, guys.
That's real bad. Gets off a really nice
Zero
ice wall.
damage ult.
Well, the Sanity Clip didn't do a whole lot. Actually, Pycat's going to find OD. This is going to be a big kill coming his way if he's able to finish him off.
Oh,
One
he's
more
not.
right click.
3 HP.
One more right click, Pycat. You can do it, bro.
He needs to hit the
2
pounce.
seconds on pounce. He could dodge this.
Oh!
Oh! I've never seen anything like that before. That was interesting.
He's out of mana, though.
Yeah, Arsart actually cancels the health pot right away, but Pycat
Can't get him. Oh
is
my
very
god.
fast. Pounce Astral. That's scary. You can pounce Astral. Pretty cool.
Damn, that was so close for
He can get a
God.
Blink Dagger right now, too, so
Yeah.
expect him to do
Six-
exactly what he
six
did
and a
last
half
game.
minutes. It's pretty good timing. It's
Yeah, and
exactly the
Drought
same as
has
last
a
game.
mask of, or the Morbid Mask, I think it's called.
Mask of Morbidity.
Yeah, what did it used to be called?
Mask of Death.
Mask of Death? Yeah, that's why I always get confused by that. But he's going, I'm assuming he's going Mask of Madness. And he could go, yeah, he could go Helm and just stack, but...
Dominator is the classic build where you just start stacking Ancients, because Drow can actually, look at her massive lifesteal right now. She can pretty easily farm a double camp at the same time if she stands somewhere over here, so they keep moving back and forth between this line. But Mask of Madness is, I think, too greedy in this game. Against a Blink Dagger Slark, you're just going to die.
That's a great point, yeah.
And that also means that neither Blink nor Force Staff are going to keep her safe, so could be a little bit of a a tall order for Illidan, actually. I don't think this is that good Drow game. Both Slark and Nyx easily come in close. And she loses so much potential when someone is close. Of course, her aura, or her ultimate, for those not completely familiar with it, she gets 40, 60, or 80 agility based on the level if no enemy hero is within 400 AoE. So a Slark with Blink will remove 40 agility from her right away. And
of course, it doesn't just apply to her.
That applies to the Precision Aura, which affects the other ranged heroes on her team. And right now, that aura is giving 33 damage to herself, OD, and Prophet. That's just sick.
It is sick.
It's really, really sick.
But what are you going to do with the Slark with a Blink? I mean, they knew coming in that he would pick that up. I mean, this is not a Drow before a Slark pick, right? They knew this coming in.
Uh-oh.
I mean, Force Staffs can be something
Oh, God, you're in trouble.
Yep, God's going to get surrounded, but he's going to think better of it.
A really
walks
wise
away.
play here.
Very nice. Big plays from God.
Recognizing that Slark is gone, so not gambling here.
Haste rune, Pycat. He's itching for a kill right now.
Yeah.
Illidan.
He's wasting a lot of time. God is ready for this, and there's a sentry as well, but Mouz want to set him up here, but Living Armor is, of course, available across the map, and they have 4 heroes in position. Here comes Pycat.
Oh, boy. Fata getting stunned. There's a Drow. A little bit of silence action. Pycat, though, not able to go on the Astral Imprisonment, and he's forced to use his ult and just back up here. They do get a kill on Drow, surprisingly enough. Stun coming out, Misery. Black Hole still up. Of course, he has no mobility on top of that.
Out here?
I don't know where he was. That's why
his entire team was in here, and he's a Drow. Going into the front line like that is going to get you killed.
Well, it is Illidan, after all.
Yeah. Why wasn't Illidan here?
he plays very ballsy, which I enjoy watching, which is why I say he's a very entertaining player, because it could turn out really well for him, or it could turn out god-awfully, which in that case it was definitely the case. But he's still top farmer in the game, along with the OD. And Slark hasn't had the same impact that he did last game, which I guess we shouldn't be too surprised by, just based on the fact that I don't think I've ever seen a start like that from a Slark, at least to that degree. It was insane. What did he get off? 10-0? I think he got 10-0 to start the game.
He was beyond godlike at 15 minutes, and now he's 2-0. So big difference there. And based on previous games, this is not enough of a lead for Mouz to win the game, because Virtus Pro came back from really significant deficits, and Mouz have a good. How good is that lead? 2,000 experience, 1,000 gold at 10 minutes. Not really significant. Favoring you. Mouz will only win late game with a big black hole. There's no other way. There's so much pressure on Misery to win that late game, because OD, Prophet, and Drow Ranger with that Drow aura are going to go completely nuts. They cannot deal with that.
And then there's Wraith King.
Yeah, the aura. Don't underestimate that aura.
That's double lifesteal for Drow. So it is pretty sick overall.
Rotation top lane. They're looking for Pass, who has now backed off, so really good timing. Oh, maybe actually he's going to come back to the wave. This smoke gang could easily work out. He is hanging in the side here.
Pass.
NS. Oh, perfect moving back there. Pass is so dead.
We go. Leech Seed. Don't even need anything else, I don't think. One stun from NS should do it, and it is. Nature's Prophet thinking about coming in, but no need.
And Slark actually TP top. Pycat will try to get a trade-off here.
Uh-oh, Pycat has the blink. Jumps on the bottom. Seeing the Sunstrike going to destroy NS. Holy jeez. Jotum not able to go down thanks to Pycat's right click. In fact, he targeted incorrectly, I feel.
Mid lane.
Could have killed the Wraith King. Of course, he does have his ult.
With the Astral. I don't think we're going to see a follow-up here from them.
Yeah.
So this is the one weakness they have.
Gust, man.
They really need overgrowth to win fights. Right. That's the one weakness their lineup has, is that they don't have much control. As far as damage goes, their damage is insane with the 3 range heroes, but overgrowth, if it lands, and if they can combine that with Gust, hands down VP wins the fight. But
that's a tall order for a Treant that's not getting a whole lot of
fun. Any sort of misstep, any sort of flank from Mouz is going to make it a lot harder.
Going to get hit by the AA ult and die.
Gets a taste of someone else with the same name's medicine.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Well, okay, so Blink Dagger on a Treant I think is actually very important in this game. To be able to position yourself in range for that overgrowth, if there's a black hole or something to that effect, or just to set up a great team fight. Wraith King, I still would like the Blink Dagger as we talked about last game, but I don't think it's as important as the tree getting hit.
Lane. Oh, he could stop a TP right now. He will. Jotum stops the TP from MSS, and that means the mid tower will be going the way of Virtus Pro.
Well done. Well played. Digital Sports. Able to get the tier 1 tower mid. And I believe they'll get out just fine.
Will they salvage their bottom tower?
Leech Seed applied to Misery. He has the black hole. I'm not sure if he wants to use it here. It would be a pretty big waste overall. NS getting absolutely demolished.
He got mana burned.
Oh my god, he did. NS in the meantime, I'm sorry. Enigma, in the meantime, gets Astral in prison, and they're just going to leave him.
So 1-for-1 tower trade, but Wraith King did go down. Very nice.
And typically speaking, we talk about it all the time. The mana burn from Nyx, not necessarily that great against Wraith King because it's based on intelligence, but it was enough this time to...
Pycat on the courier hunt.
Oh, big plays. Second courier kill, trying to get those compendium owners back on track, especially myself. God. Astral Imprisonment, do they have anything to follow this up with?
In comes MSS, they're going to go on Illidan.
Beautiful silence on top of that. Black Hole, I'm sure to follow. Is it coming? It's on nothing! Misery! Too late, my goodness. He's going to eat the potato, though, getting his strength back thanks to those french fries. But, Bycat, he's going to pounce, but a nice Astral going to keep damage.
He has ult. I got silenced!
Gust on top of that. Beautifully done. Force Staff on top. Are we going to see 0 kills? Okay, Arsart. Oh, my goodness. Overgrowth from the other side of the trees. Very well done.
Here comes
Still
Illidan
no
with
kills
the flank.
here. Misery, you don't have your ult. What are you doing, good sir? You are dying, good sir.
He was going to die anyway.
All right.
So, actually, okay going for the kill on Prophet there, but will not be successful. But all the while...
1 kill in that fight.
Fata was not there. And that's really important to note because he's catching up. We were not sure how good that Midas was going to be, but he actually got it at a reasonable timing. And now he is 1.4k gold in. Only trailing about 1,000 for behind the OD, which is really good considering how hard he got countered in that mid lane. Looking good for Mouz. 3k gold, 4k experience, but...
Still a close game, though.
Still waiting.
This is a very good game.
I'm waiting for that BKB on Drow. That's when shit's going to go down, I think.
Shit's going to go down?
Shit's going to go down.
Oh,
That's
geez.
my shit.
Oh,
That's
sick.
my shit.
Apparently NS needs a minute, so we're going to have a pause here. Tactical in no way.
Very tactical pause.
What did you think about the tactical pause in the previous game? Rock's Kiss. Obviously, it wasn't actually a tactical pause, but... of course, keep in mind that when you're in the game and it's paused, you can't actually move the camera. So, not as good as it used to be as far as tactical pauses are concerned, but something to note for sure. So, the longer this game goes, the more I favor VP, of course. And I just feel like the drop pick is kind of weird, though. I mean, the silence is very nice. I think Gust is underappreciated in a lot of ways, but she's countered so hard if you have one hero even close to her.
Yes.
Which Slark can easily do, Nyx can easily do, Enigma, I guess, with the Blink can easily do. So, we'll see how this game goes, though. Drow is always an exciting pick. Where were we? Oh, wait, nobody else
Shout
sees
out
that
to
but me.
PGG, nice. Misery acknowledging his amazing black hole as well. So,
as long as you can laugh at yourself, life is good, is what I always say.
I think this game is going to be the closest in the series so far. Just based on the first 14 minutes, I think this could
The game's
go
probably
really
going to be
late.
over in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Jinxed it again. Sorry, guys.
Oh, Pycat's in pretty deep here. Treant's going to find MSS, puts down the sentry, in fact. But he knows they
game
put down
2
a
was
sentry.
really close, so maybe not closer.
Oh, boy. Illidan getting caught out of guard. Gust is there. Well, AA ult will fall.
He's actually going to live.
Illidan's going to get Force Staff. Wow.
That living armor.
So good. He has 2,200. Why is he not spending? Does he want to save for buyback? But I don't know.
Not sure. He could go into a Yasha, which is a really greedy farming build, but of course the aura is really good for his teammates, or he goes for the BKB and make sure to come back. Oh, this is so greedy from him farming here. Pycat's going for it.
Oh, there's a Treant there still. He pounces Illidan. Oh, my God. Oh, a beautiful Astral Imprisonment, saving him at least for now. Overgrowth on MSS and Pycat. Leech Seed to follow. Nyx Assassin taking a lot of damage. Pycat's the focus fire from AA and Jotum. They're going to be able to pick off MSS, but Pycat will at least get away. It was a trap.
Yeah, but they're losing Roshan for that. Mouz easily going to be happy with that.
Yep.
Very easy Roshan kill for Invoker and Enigma. And Fata is just completely back in the game after being croaked. He now gets the Aegis. He's level 10. Oh boy.
Pycat has an
Sunstrike.
Sunstrike's there. It's going to be shared damage between Jotum and God, but Jotum is a pretty easy kill if he can't get off Nature's guys, but he's not going to do so. I don't know if Pycat can get this kill, to be honest.
Man, they're getting a lot out of that living armor. It's preventing Pycat from going for these kills.
Well, like you said, though, the Dark Pact's pretty good.
They need to post-cast it every time after Dark Pact is how they need to use it. And they've been doing a really good job at that so far. Not panicking on the living armor, but casting it when it's most effective.
An Urn on Tree. All right, we'll see how this works out. I mean, Urn's obviously a great item. I just feel like Blink is so important in this game. I'm surprised he could even afford that, too. I think he's farming better than the Wraith King. In fact, he is just by a little bit. Force Staff on OD as we talk. Actually, let's just do an item roundup because I don't think we're going to have a fight here. Any items of choice. So Illidan picks up the Ultimate Orb, in all likelihood a Manta, and...
You cannot break the Pounce leash with that, I think. I'm pretty sure you stay leashed.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You should. You really should. Oh, mid lane,
It's a hit or a
Fata.
miss, though, you know. Yeah, Fata, Leech Seed,
He does
Gust.
have the Aegis, though.
He does have the Aegis, like you said. Impale's only going to hit one. Overgrowth to follow. MS is going to be the target of choice here. NS getting Astral Imprison along with the Living Armor. He might be in a little bit of trouble. I'm sure the Malefice will follow very shortly. There it is.
He has enough
Easy
sticks.
kill.
He didn't use it.
Oh, wow, you're right. You are absolutely right. Illidan again in a horrible spot. Illidan. What? Is he nature guys?
Oh my
He's nature
god!
guys.
He's gonna live.
Oh my god, he's panicking. He's panicking. They're going to find Jotum, but I think they'll trade that any day of the week as long as Drow can get
Pass
out.
will find him.
No, Illidan! Illidan, run, please! Gust is there! Oh, I wish he... Oh, Sunstrike. Boo! Oh, that is truly unfortunate for Illidan. I don't know what in God's name he was doing in that position, but it didn't work out for him, obviously. Yeah. And free tier 1.
They committed so hard on killing the Aegis carrier. They should have known that that was going to come around for them. And actually what they could have done there was they killed Fata. If Wraith King uses his wand, he will die again, but his ultimate will save his team. They could have all run out because of the slow. And NS, I think, too greedy there, not wanting to use his ult. Just, sure, it's a long cooldown, but it would have kept Drow alive and probably the other hero who was also dying there. Who else did they lose? They lost 3. They lost the Treant as well.
Drow, yeah, and Wraith.
Really big deal here. And now because of that, Mao's getting a really comfortable lead. 4k gold, 7k experience, and Misery taking over the enemy jungle. It's really important. He can play with such confidence. Now he almost has a BKB as well.
Who's that?
Misery on the Enigma. That's going to be really, really early. Gets a lot of easier setups to go for that PGG.
That was truly a PGG for sure. And the funny thing is, he had so much opportunity to get a 3 or 4 man. I think he was trying to be greedy, and ended up costing him in the end. Level 2 Necro now on Invoker, and a Blink on Nyx Assassin, so expect some more ganks to follow.
Big items coming out here.
Yeah, Mouse, they're getting the item advantage. And look at the net worth. Enigma is actually top of the charts.
This happens more often than you would think, just because Enigma is a great hero at finding, of course, really effective jungle farm, and at the same time he can contribute to ganks, so... Misery has been playing really effectively this game, apart from the Mist Black Hole, which I think wasn't the biggest of deals. Could have maybe gotten them a bonus kill or something like that, but not really too much. He's still doing what he needs to do for his team now. Want to point out Slark. We should talk about him a lot more, because we were talking about Mousesport's lineup. They want to snowball in the mid-game. They want Slark to take control of the game. He's 4-0, which is great, but he has 64 CS in a 20-minute game, which is really low for a position 1 hero. He's tried to find kills. He's found a few, but...
Well, it's like last game. He left the laning stage
should.
very early, as the BKB is now an Enigma, as you talked about. And unlike last game, he's not picking up as many kills.
Yes.
Which is obviously a drawback with ganking instead of farming, but I think they're still in a decent position to take this. Of course, if it gets to ridiculous late game, as we talked about, Virtus Pro just has a very, very good team. But there's always the black hole. There's always the black hole, as long as it's not a PGG black hole.
And Invoker
something
is...
to fear.
Because of the comeback, he almost has a Necro 3, which is going to be absolutely huge against Treant, against Drow. You can just... No, it's only hero units, right?
Yes.
Not hero controlled. If there are enemy heroes, yeah. So the Necro book cannot remove her aura by just...
Wraith King's going to find MSS, or maybe the other way around. Nice silence on MSS, but... Oh my god, NS has no mana! Okay, he does.
Used the wand well.
Wand at the last second. Jotum is he able to get off his overgrowth. He is. Black hole. It is on OD. That's really all that matters. Is Drow is just right-clicking from the other side of the black hole. They haven't killed anybody else other than the tree.
With 20 HP.
NS is still alive, thanks to that ult. And God trying to get out of dodge, but it's not going to do so thanks to the Blink Dagger on MSS. 3 dead in favor of Mouse Sports. They're starting to run away. This Illidan is just so squishy. What does he have right now? He should have a Mantis Eye very short. Oh boy. Sunstrike's going to miss. Can they stop the TP? No.
Very nice gust. Hit the Nyx so he couldn't impale.
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't think it's
going to live. It's going to be close, but
if the Sunstrike had hit originally, it would have been fine.
But Mouse are just finding so much on this map, and again, the Slark and AA that they've picked in the first phase have really paid off. They keep finding... They haven't found as many pickups as they would have liked, but they found enough. And as long as Virtus Pro... You know, that's the flaw of their lineup that I talked about. They need a massive overgrowth. They don't have so much control. As far as damage, they're absolutely amazing, but...
Arsart! MSS looking for an impale. If he hits it, Arsart's dead. 100%. He hits it, Sunstrike, everything in between. Goodbye. Well, Astral Imprison going to save him at least for now, but I believe is to prevent nothing because he's going to end up going down. No mana to speak of.
Living Armor.
Pycat pounces out with his ult. Nice Ice Wall overall, preventing any counter initiation from VP.
Yeah, they're going to try to find something here, just a little bit of farm if nothing else, but I don't think they can get anything here. I think going for this tower push could be really risky, but then again, Prophet is up in 20. He will have his ult. He can TP in. They see Mouz retreating. Actually, really good call here going for that tower, so nicely done. Mouz out of ability, so they trade Prophet for a tier 1 tower, which, of course... Oh, wow!
Are you serious?
One Forge Spirit is going to deny that tower. Fata with the plays.
Oh,
That's
boy.
huge. Such a big play. That's... Oh my god. VP needed that gold so badly, and it gets taken away by that little sucker.
Yeah, that was no good. That was no good for sure. How many Force Staffs do we have on VP? I'm assuming OD and anybody
Only
else?
him.
Only him? Force Staffs are super important against, or with a Drow.
Yes.
Being able to Force Staff him out.
But if she gets pounced, it's...
Well, exactly. If pounced, it's not going to matter.
It's a
For
problem.
everything else, it does matter. So as long as you don't hit the pounce, well, the BKB will get you out of the pounce. But of course, then you can't really Force Staff. So, or you can't Force Staff through BKB. So your ally needs. AA getting pounced on. Speaking about it, Sunstrike is there, and actually he's going to get out thanks to... Was he actually hitting a creep there for a second?
Not sure.
Or is that the
Didn't see
living
it.
armor? I didn't see the living armor on him originally, but...
And Pycat's going for Yasha. So changing up his build this time around, I think he will turn this into a Manta to break the Gust, perhaps. Or he can get the S and Y, which I just think is pretty underwhelming on Slarkin.
Yes.
To be honest, he really doesn't.
Well, what do you
benefit
think
that
about Manta, though?
Manta's okay. He can dodge the Wraith King stun with timing. He can break out of Overgrowth,
Yeah, I think Overgrowth's the big one.
and he can break out of Gust.
So he has two ways to
pretty nice.
debuff things, essentially. He
Yeah,
has two
it
skills
is a
now.
pretty good pickup this game, I think.
But yeah, I think SNY is kind of underwhelming as well.
Roche respawning, 5 seconds. I think, yeah, they got a lot of value out of the last Aegis. If they get as much value out of the next one, I think Mouz are going to run with this game. They're getting a really good lead. As far as Virtus Pro goes, they want that BKB on G so he can start fighting, but is it going to come too late? He's actually taking a lot of damage here from the Forge Spirits and will Force Staff.
That's never a good sign.
Radiant's top tower
As
He-
top lane's going to get
Sunstrike.
pushed by Mouse, Pycat's coming underneath just to see if he can pick somebody off, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
Slark is so good at nighttime. He has really good night vision. He's going to see Illidan.
Oh, Illidan.
Illidan's going Skadi.
Radiant's
Are you
top
serious?
tower is under attack.
Wow. What do you think of that? Scotty.
I-
He has a slow in his first skill, but
It gives
he
him
wants
some tank
stats, which is great.
Well, this guy used to play Dragon Knight without Breathe Fire, so I guess anything is possible, right?
That is really interesting. I don't know what to think. I mean, I'm a huge Scotty lover. Don't get me wrong.
This
but
hero is really weird with Skadi.
yeah.
But what else? If he just wanted a casual ultimate orb for the value, then get the BKB instead.
Well,
Seriously, get the Ogre
maybe
Club
it's a
for value.
Manta and a Lincoln's.
Yeah, then you should have got the Yasha.
Well, shoulda, coulda, woulda. I don't
Yep.
know. Pycat's going to be happy with his Yasha, as he's going to be pretty close to finishing that Manta if he chooses
Now
to
mid
go
lane,
down
they
that
know
route.
Pycat isn't there, so maybe they can hold this tower or push them out. Damn,
I don't
there's
know.
so
Enigma
much
with the
damage
BKB.
being
I don't
done
even think
to
he's
this
used
tower.
BKB this game.
On
If I'm not
Illidan.
mistaken.
Gonna kill the blue Necro, takes a lot of damage as a result, but can of course heal it up again.
Hey,
ult.
Ooh. The side of it'll catch OD, but nothing to really write home about. And Roche, as he talked about, is up, expecting them to scout it out here. There we go. Gem on Enigma. Does he even go Blink at all?
Yes, he goes Blink next.
Okay.
I still think so. It's so much easier for him to get in position, of course. With the BKB, he can just move forward and try to create the wall that we've talked about in previous casts, that when you're in BKB with Enigma, you kind of push people away from you, so you
Yeah.
can zone them in the fights. But the only thing stopping his Black Hole is Overgrowth. So if he catches the tree in that, BKB Blink is really damn good. And now this Roche cannot be contested by Virtus Pro. This game is looking grimmer and grimmer for them, and Mouz, suddenly Invoker is actually top of net worth. Who would have thought that after that early
Yeah, that
game,
was
but
a terrible start.
really, really good comeback here from Fata.
And I'm not going to blame everything on this, but I think a factor here, Treant went for Urn instead of Blink. And the Black Holes haven't been that big of a deal, but I feel
I
like
don't know,
catching the
Could
team
he
off
even
guard,
have had the Blink yet is the question.
it would have been close.
Well, maybe. But if he wouldn't have had it, it wouldn't have made a difference, right?
Well, and the other problem is if you're not getting him farm, Wraith King's not getting much farm either. So there's no... Like, their supports are severely underfarmed right now. As the Roshan's going to be easy pickings, as you said. Manta is finished on Slark. And,
Roshan
well,
has fallen to the dire.
what is the Scotty watch on Drow now? That's become... Oh, he has no money. Courier. There we go. Slark Drow. I think I've seen it all, Cinderin. I think I've seen it all.
Slark Drow.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Scotty Drow.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Slark Drow was good too. Imagine if she had pounced. That would be pretty good.
That would be pretty sick. Actually, that would
mid lane, Fata.
quite
Oh,
well.
Nyx.
Oh, here we go. Gust is there along with the Ice Wall. Fata dealing a little bit of damage, but the Ice Wall is keeping everybody in place. Illidan on the run. He's at half HP. The drum's being popped by Pycat. Oh, he's actually going to get stuck. The beautiful pounce, though, to finish off Illidan in all likelihood. Manta. Okay, Illidan is somehow still alive, but 3 are dead for Virtus Pro, so doesn't really matter a whole lot, as this is just getting out of hand now. Is they going to find another pounce target? AA is dead. Complete team wipe with very little damage done overall to Mouse.
From a greed standpoint, it made a lot of sense to pick the Drow, because they knew they had a free lane of farm. I just don't think this is a Drow game. Like, Slark countered her the entire game. Nyx just blinks in melee range with you and messes you up. And Mouse's lineup makes a lot more sense. They got a lot more out of the greed, first of all, because they had an Enigma free farm in the jungle. The 2 supports, as you said, on Virtus Pro are really underfarmed. And then the trade-off they made for that was that Drow got free farm and did nothing the whole game. Yeah. So maybe if Virtus Pro would have gone for a different greedy carry that could have fought a lot more, that could have worked.
Goodbye, good sir. He has his ult. He'll be back in a second. Slow is ridiculously high AoE. My goodness. He's going to get the right fire blast on Fata. This is going to be the last stand for VP. There is Enigma trying to get off the black hole, but not in time.
It's
Still
over.
has it available, but
God's
God,
gonna die.
One last right click to Pycat, and Malphus now on Illidan. You are probably not going to get out of this. A nice intel from the low ground. There's the black hole, not the PGG one that we love so very much. And this is going to be GG in all likelihood. NS will be the last target, unless Pycat wants to go really deep, but the GG's finally come out. So this is now tied 2-2 in the grand finals. We're going to a deciding game 5. And this game was not very close. It
Love
was
this stat.
up until...
This stat is a good stat.
It's only the second time I've... How did it work out? Did you check how it worked out?
The other one, he bought it at like 12 minutes, so he won.
He bought a Scotty at 12 minutes the last time? That is ridiculous. Okay,
14 minutes.
That's still insane. But this one was
Yeah,
at 26 minutes, I believe. I don't even think I saw him auto-attack, to be perfectly honest.
He did a few, but then Slark used ult, and then he didn't do any more.
Yeah.
Slark again, 10-0. I think
You banned Slark? They picked it up in the first 2, though. That's
if you don't ban Slark, you really don't pick carries that get full-out hard countered by it. It just doesn't work for them in this game. You could say in the last game even, they picked a Lifestealer as the trade-off for farm for the Slark. Lifestealer doesn't count as Slark either. He's a melee hero. He gets easily kited. What does Slark do? He kites.
Yeah, I feel like the Drow and Lifestealer were both very questionable. The Lifestealer ended up working out a little bit in their favor because of the gank potential, which they did a really good job of coming back. But the Drow, like, there's no gank potential really. Like maybe a Shadowblade Drow, but that's not very good.
Let's say instead in this game, Illidan played a free farm Morphling.
Okay.
You're picking it into AA. I know it's not the ideal game, but you're a ranged carry who can get out of pounce, who can use range to his advantage.
Okay, in theory, yes. Have you seen his Morphling?
Okay.
Very underwhelming. Very underwhelming.
So what should they have picked? Like, I guess we can agree Drow Ranger was an awful pick. Let's be blunt about it and say Drow could not work in this game unless she got off to a really damn good start. What would you get instead? AM would have been just as bad.
What about Gyro?
Gyro, potentially. It's a hero that Slark can't just run into and fight, right? Because then you just use Rocket Barrage. You have to use Slark's ult. You buy time. Call down would have been great. I think Gyro would have been better, also because they needed control, right? They have Overgrowth and they have Wraith King Stun, no other significant lockdown. Maybe if you have a call down, maybe the homing missile even could have made a difference here. Drow not the right call. I think Gyro would have been an excellent pick in this particular game, and it's not that Virtus Pro got completely out-strategized by Mouz. I think they got more out-strategized by themselves, to be honest, in this game. And that's why the first 2 games were really, really interesting, because they picked something really extraordinary that they won with. Now, with these previous 2 games, it makes you wonder, was it just a fluke? Like, did they actually know how good it was, what they did, when they picked this in the 3rd and 4th game, which was just, on paper, a losing draft?
It's almost like they're experimenting.
Yeah, and now in game... Okay, guys, backs against the wall again. Game 5.
Yeah. They're just trying to make it exciting for everybody watching. Hopefully you guys appreciate that fact from Virtus Pro. So game 5 of the grand finals of the TI4 European Qualifiers coming up next, presented by Monster, of course. We'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned.